welcome to Dice Tower News. Let's take a look at the news this week. Now, I'm assuming there's a lot of news that's coming out live. This is the week of Gamma Trade Show.
Right.
So that's the Game and Manufacturing Association trade show, and there's a lot of news that's announced during that time frame. So there's things that are also being leaked there, I guess. Like they're showing new games. So some of the stuff we don't have yet just because there's no reliable source that's there shooting out news. Because we're not there.
That sounded terrible.
It did really say.
We're not there, so we are getting a trickle-down effect, is what we're saying.
Actually, Corey is there.
We have no one good there, so...
No, what I meant was, and I don't mean this in any negative way, nobody is there actually, like, streaming out news from it. I'm not saying that there's no reliable. There's, like, nobody is streaming news from it.
Corey's there.
Corey's there, but he's getting the news for later.
And it is not good, it's just not good. I mean, Corey, I don't want to sound negative, but Corey's doing a terrible job.
No, he's not. All right. By the way, if you want news and you want to get a podcast every week on that Dice Tower Now, subscribe to that. Corey does the news every week. It's a great way to find out what's going on in the industry.
Who does it? I'm kidding. I love Corey. Come on, man. Let's look at some news.
All right.
Here we go.
Flat River Group acquires Luma Imports and Synopsis Games. Now, Flat River Group seems like they're trying to make a play to become a pretty big distributor of board games. We've already seen them. They got Yellow.
Right. They were in our news recently for the same thing, an acquisition.
Getting Luma is not bad. Luma includes Horrible Guild, Bombix, who used to be Asmodee, Sit Down, and Holy Grail. That's a lot. That's a lot of games. There's no like huge game maybe coming from there. Although I know that is it Horrible Guild that has that little card game that's selling a ton, where you guess who the person is by flipping. Similo.
Yeah.
I know that one's doing really well.
Yeah.
I've heard it's like selling in the hundreds of thousands.
And they have a bunch of themes already, and you can mix and match them. Yeah, that one's like a spotted type game.
Synopsis Games is a smaller company. They did Coital, which you like, or Coatl.
Coatl, yeah.
And Beta and Draw the Line. So this is interesting. Let's see how this progresses as we go on. All right, games. So we have Leviathan Wilds. This is from a new company, Mooncrafts. And this was really interesting because I'm reading directly from what their press release says. They said, a group of designers from Z-Man and Fantasy Flight Games have gotten together and formed Mooncraft Games, led by designer Justin Kempinen. I don't know who that is.
Okay.
These former Pandemic, Love Letter, and Imperial Salt contributors have announced the first title, which is this Leviathan Wilds. It's a cooperative adventure game. When I first read that, it sounded negative, except I think this company is being distributed by or working with Asmodee. It's like a positive thing, but it sounded like a bunch of people left Asmodee.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
That's what it sounded like when I first read the press release. Also, this seems to be a thing now. We saw Corey Kanaska leave and start his own company. We saw other people leave and like, oh, we're going to work on our own companies. Like Asmodee, I think this is something that just happens. Everyone worries that Asmodee is going to buy everything.
Right.
Which they are buying a lot of stuff. But as they buy it, things pop off, start their own companies.
And it does
That's
seem
just how
like,
the hobby works.
It does seem like folks coming out of those Asmodee companies will have the clout and the ability to start their own company.
Right.
Not everybody can just start their own company, but you being able to name drop, I worked for Asmodee or I worked for this studio, seems to carry some weight to then start your own thing, do your own productions. And I love that logo.
Also, this game is clearly based on that video game where you climb up the giant creatures and fight them. Oh, what's that called?
A video game where you climb giant... Oh, Monster Hunter?
Not Monster Hunter. There's these huge monsters and you climb up them and fight them. Like each monster is a level in the game.
God of War 3.
No, it's not God of War 3. Someone will say it in chat.
Is it the one with the giant dog and the whatever? That one? Eco or something like that? One of those?
No. Anyway, I think they said it in the press. Oh, Shadow of the Colossus. Never mind. It's mentioned right here in the thing.
Shadow of the Colossus, right.
Yeah, and Shadow of the Colossus. All right. Thank you. And Michael said that right there. All right. Shadow of the Colossus. Anyway, from what I understand, it's based on that concept.
Really? Okay. Yeah. All right. Looks cool.
Then we have the Terry Gilliam game, Brazil. No, that's a movie, right?
That is definitely a movie, Brazil.
This is not based on that movie at all. This is Brazil Imperial.
Le Monde? I don't know what that says.
This is a Euro X board game. What does Euro X mean? Oh, a 4X game. Okay. Anyway, this is from Meeple BR, and it's coming, but it's being distributed through Portal.
Is this being distributed in English through Portal? Do you know?
No, but I know that Portal has it. I'm assuming so.
Because I know that they publish many things and reprint many things, not in English, in Polish and in maybe other languages. So I don't know.
Yeah, but that's not Polish in the cover there, is it?
I don't know. There's no writing that would be
the word
language.
Imperial.
I guess so. Yeah. I like the cover a lot. I like the art style quite a bit. I don't know if I would like this
Says
game.
it's 100 minutes. I don't know what to think of this one. It's that cover just it reminds me of something else, but I don't know what it's reminding me of.
Oh, like Civ
Also, I
type
don't know-
games.
Huh?
It looks like Civ type games. You
Yeah,
know?
maybe that's what it is. It looks like one of the leaders of Civ 6, which I've been playing, who's taunting me, and I'm going to nuke him. I almost never use nukes.
But you can use nukes in Civilization video games.
Yeah,
I've never played Civ
Oh,
games.
you can drop nukes, but usually they're really bad for the environment, and the world
course.
tends to turn against you.
Okay, of course.
The world hates me right now anyway because I killed off an entire civilization.
What's wrong with you?
They started it.
Okay, well, there we go.
All right. Crusaders. So Crusaders originally came from Tasty Minstrel Games, has been picked up by Renegade,
Yes.
along with the very hard to get expansion Divine Influence, which I don't think I've even played.
I don't think I've ever seen that expansion. That was very rare, I guess. I've seen Crusaders Thy Will Be Done, but I've never seen
Have you
that.
played it?
No.
You might like it. It's a very light game.
Okay.
Not very light, but I mean it's pretty. What I mean to say is even you could get it.
So it's very light, is what you're saying.
No, it's not that light. But it is it was one of those games that came out in a deluxeified version and stuff, and I think that's the version that Renegade's going to be doing. I don't know. Maybe they just pressed the button and reprinted it because that's what it looks like, and then just put the Renegade logo on it.
Sure, yeah. Cool.
So that's Q3. Village Rails. Man, I love Osprey games. I'm not sure I'm loving how this game looks. And I also don't know if I like the tagline. I think Chris likes it.
Matthew Dunstan and Brad J. Gilbert, huh?
You do love those designers.
I tend to. I did just review a game of theirs I disliked quite a bit. But this does not look like their usual design. Village Rails, a game of locomotives and local motives. Chris, he likes that because of the pun.
I'm sure he does.
I don't love that cover.
Yeah, I don't
again,
either. It looks like an old game, like a game from the 80s.
Purpose, too. It's clearly they're doing that on purpose, making it look like that way on purpose. And I guess nostalgia is part of that.
Anyway, you're connecting villages together through England, connecting stations and farmhands, placing signals and sidings, make the best railroad system.
I would play this, probably. I doubt it would be something outside my comfort zone from these guys, from these designers.
Yeah.
I'm into it. I'll try it, even with that cover.
All right, 25th Century has Cryptic Cafe. You know, for me, not even knowing what this word meant 2 years ago.
To suddenly it's in every game?
It's definitely a thing now. Cryptids, the...
Oh, you meant that. I thought you meant cafe.
Shut up, man. All right, anyway, this game here, you're in charge of a normal cafe that's run by a Sasquatch. And cryptid clienteles are coming in. 25th Century is one of those companies I'm watching these days.
I agree.
I just played a roll and write from them that I really enjoyed. I don't love everything that they've done, but they're putting effort into it. For a small company, their games look really good. They're both bringing out new things and bringing back classic games.
Yep.
So keep an eye on them.
I'm there with you. This looks cute.
That's what happens when you're several centuries ahead, though.
Yeah, I get it. 25th, yeah.
All right. In the clamoring of IPs.
When am I finally going to get a Rear Window board game? I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And then I died. And then I came back to life and kept waiting. Rear Window, really? This is from like the late 50s, right? I mean,
Yeah, I guess this definitely feels like a target audience, right?
no, those people are deceased.
No.
What audience?
No, I meant for people who shop at Target. Old people shopping at Target.
Oh boy.
This is definitely for that group.
I guess so, Tom. Who else would it be?
I mean, this is a very classic movie. It's too. This is like, I find these movies stressful
Why?
because when you're like looking.
The aspect ratio.
No, it's because he's looking at the guy, and so the guy looks at you, and you're like, ah! He knows.
Have you seen Rear Window?
I've seen parts of it.
Rear Window is pretty good. But these movies are very, very old. I mean, and this is a strange one.
Next, Vertigo.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it might be good, and it does sound like they are leaning into the theme. They're doing, they're trying to really make a game that ties into Rear Window and what happens in the movie. Just talk about having to get over a hump to play this game. For me, personally. Maybe somebody out there's like, really, truly, finally, they made something like this. I just don't, I don't know.
All right, let's take a look at something I'm not very excited about, and that's Remix. So this is from WizKids. This is not the only Marvel game they're doing. I think they're doing a couple other Marvel games too, but like I said, we'll find out more after Gamma. We'll see the press releases. This here is based on fantasy realms and looks like it encompasses much of the Marvel universe because it's mostly, the Avengers there in the cover, but they do have either Jean Grey or Hope Summers, I'm not sure, but one of the X-Men in the top center and Wolverine down in the corner. So they must have license to the whole universe.
Yeah.
This is based on fantasy realms. I'm a little worried because I played the Star Trek fantasy realms, did not like it at all. They mess with it too much.
So you do like fantasy realms. Fantasy Summers is a really fun game, yeah.
I also don't think fantasy. I said that I've always complained fantasy realms. Well, first of all, the name is Fantasy Realms.
Yes.
It's a very generic, boring theme.
It's almost as bad as Fantasy Commander.
Yeah.
Or whatever that was.
But
yeah.
I don't think a Marvel theme is going to juice it up. I mean, it may be easier to get to the table. I hope that they did not do the Star Trek. I hope this is closer to the original one. And I do know that the cards have a base point value in this one, which Star Trek they did not.
Okay, yeah, so that Fantasy Realms did that.
Yes, but Star Trek there was no base value. It was all bonuses at the bottom. And I dislike that because the base value gives you an instant idea of the value of the card.
Right. Hey, I'm curious. I do like this theme. Fantasy Realms is very abstracted of a game anyway. It's just really combining cards and trying to get synergies going, building up a hand of cards. And you're looking at some character, a king, whatever, an assassin. It doesn't matter. It's generic fantasy. This will hopefully liven it up a little bit if I've got like Spider-Man and he works together well with Hawkeye and whatever. That's neat. I like this theme a lot, even if it is pasted on. I'm okay with that. I'm curious about this one, Tom.
I am, but I tell you what, I love Marvel, and I'm starting to think it's a very saturated market, and obviously Marvel says yes to anyone who wants the license.
Apparently, man. Apparently. I'm thinking of my 20 Questions game. If I slap Marvel on that baby is fixed.
We got to pick some obscure character from Marvel. Howard the Duck, 20 questions. All right. Parks has an expansion coming. It's Wildlife, it's called. So this is coming out this summer. It's going to have all new artwork from that 59 Parks print series, including the newest National Park Edition, New River Gorge. I didn't know there was a new national park.
I don't know what that is.
Ernest is going to come in and slap me and be like, you should have known.
Don't you know where that is?
One of the guys in our gaming group is one of the rangers here from the Everglades.
Yep.
One of the top rangers.
Mm-hmm. They call him Ranger Rick.
Ranger Ernest, actually.
Oh, his middle name is Rick. Ernest Rick Gluvendale.
I used to read Ranger Rick magazine.
I don't know what Ranger Rick is.
Anyway, this works with both the base game and there's an expansion already out for the game called Nightfall.
Yeah, Nightfall is great. Wildlife seems neat. I had actually seen the cover, but I hadn't seen that secondary image. With new trails, which is good. I guess whatever the new wildlife sightings thing is, it just looks like pictures.
Are those cards bending?
No, they are tiles that are arrow-shaped.
I see. Okay.
And then new...
Oh, that's right.
You played, right?
I'm getting this mixed up with Trails.
The little one. No,
yes.
no, yeah. I'm excited. I like this game a lot.
All right, Catan. Dawn of Humankind is coming from Catan. the studios. This is similar, they say, to Settlers of the Stone Age. I don't know if you ever played that one, or if you played any of those. They made Roman ones.
Yeah, it's been a solid decade and a half since I came out.
It has been, but I don't mind these. If you never played one of these Catan games, there's a set board usually, and I'm making assumptions here, but if they're talking about it in these lines, there's a big set board. It's huge compared to a normal grid, and you're building out your little roads and things, but sometimes where you build the road matters. Sometimes you have a moving piece. There was one in Settlers Catan America, I forget. There's almost like a pickup and delivery type aspect to it. So these can be fun. I think they use Catan and add more to it. So this is not an expansion. It is a full game.
I like that cover.
All right, then we have Ares Expedition. There are 3 expansions coming for it because Kickstarter and money. Really, I like Ares Expedition. I think it's very fun. It's a mix of Race for the Galaxy and Terraforming Mars. I never sat around thinking, I wish there was 3 expansions for it. But from what I understand, so the 3 expansions are
Discovery, Foundations, and Crisis?
Yeah. Okay. Crisis is a co-op expansion, turning the game into a co-op version. Okay, you're repairing Mars after a natural disaster. Discovery adds more stuff. Awards, milestones, upgradable phase cards. Now that sounds interesting.
Upgradable phase cards. Okay, that's interesting.
I would really like that. Like, I can play this card and it does something better for me.
I'm surprised that none of these Puerto Rico role selection games have done that I can think of.
Concordia slightly has that.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
And then Foundations adds more components, allowing up to 6 to play. That's already my least favorite of the 3. Foundation has a larger score track board. I love this. This is where they're like, we're adding a 4th metric. There's infrastructure, so there's something else to work on, and we're adding the board that everyone complained about, and we're fixing it. But I
really like the one with extra stuff. The other 2 just do not sound very interesting to me.
They don't. This is coming to Kickstarter, and it's going to make $1 gazillion.
I do wonder if that's the final cover, because they no longer mention Terraforming Mars. It just says Ares Expeditions.
That's true. I think they're trying to break away from that name.
Yeah. Okay.
Alrighty. So this is a picture I found online from Philip Dubarry, talking about Steve Jackson showed this off at the Gamma Trade Show, and that's Pathfinder Revolution. I'm really excited about this.
Revolution, like the old Revolution game?
Yeah, but with the Pathfinder theme and some other changes made to it.
And a roll and write now, it looks like. That really looks like a roll and write.
I know it looks like a roll and write, but that actually is a board. Because see the little
giant board.
See the little player board.
The little white cubes.
But that's where you put cubes. It was just like the original game.
Maybe my brain has now played so many roll and writes that when I look at that, I think I'm supposed to put little check marks in those.
I'm assuming that's 2 sides of the same board. Yeah. So if you never played Revolution, it's an area control game, but it's done through a very involved rock, paper, scissors.
It's like a simultaneous bidding game in which you would bid power, but you sometimes could bid swords instead of gold.
Yeah, you can use force or you can use blackmail.
Yeah.
And if you look at that little board there, it shows you some characters. Those are the 16 characters that you're influencing. Some can only be bribed. If it shows black, that means you can blackmail them. If it shows red, you can use force on them.
Intimidate them.
But force always beats blackmail. Blackmail always beats bribery.
Right.
And then if you put the... So there,
I know you liked it. I mean,
I really like this game.
It.
I really do, but I thought it was very, very bland looking. Sure. This is better looking. Pathfinder's not a bad theme to throw on this.
No, that makes sense. I'm surprised they're not picking a specific place.
Maybe they do. Maybe the when you read the lore, it tells you.
Like
I don't know as much about Pathfinder lore. Like Waterdeep, I know what that is.
Baldur's Gate, baby.
Also D&D.
What about oh, you're right. What about Legend of Drizzt?
No, there's that other. What's the other? Yeah, I'm just going by video games, right?
There's that map. Seen that map that shows you like Baldur's Gate, Waterdeep, Black Isle, or whatever. I don't know.
I'm saying that stuff is really.
It is
in your head.
I wonder if these guys, Pathfinder must have places like that. I just can't think.
Anytime I played Pathfinder, I made up everything. So,
Okay.
All right, and last piece of news. Gamefound. This was announced a few weeks ago, and this will come up in our Kickstarter thing. But a couple things with Gamefound. First of all, they're about to open the platform to everybody. Before, they were kind of picking and choosing and testing out the system and everything. Now anybody can come, and the companies are coming. So we mentioned this the other day that there was what was the company on there? It's right there. It's that Oak. That's
Game Brewer.
Game Brewer. Red Raven's going with Sleeping Gods. That's a big company to come.
25th Century.
25th Century's
With
going
Raw,
over.
that gorgeous looking reprint of Raw.
And that
And then, of course, Cyanide and Happiness, or whatever they're called, right?
Yeah, actually,
That's a big one.
I don't really care about their games, but them coming too. This is a big deal.
Oh,
So
yeah. No.
the war is heating up, and I think this will make Kickstarter better. Because Kickstarter will say, well, we got to fight back against this, because gaming is by far their number one category.
Sure.
So
It's a lot of neat stuff coming. That Oak game is actually live now. We covered it yesterday in Crowdsurfing. And then, yeah, lots coming. You can already also look at previews of these, and they'll have a countdown in days and hours for when they go live. So you can mess around in there already. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of good-looking things. I'm excited. That Sleeping Gods is a standalone sequel.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure Ryan Lockett does not sleep. Not a human.
I'm excited about it.
You heard it here first.
He's our robot. Cylon! All right, that's the news. Let's keep going.